So, my talk is towards the virtual human simulator. But to start, I'd like to ask you a question. How many of you during the day had a hot drink, a coffee, a tea, or what else? How many of you? Practically almost all of you. And did you experience the best coffee or the best tea or the best hot drink ever in your life today? Just today? No? That's strange, because there are people working on the simulation of what is going on inside of the cup of the coffee or the tea to give you the best experience possible, to make you feeling the best taste from that coffee or tea. But you know, sometimes, or many times, design and user experience are not really the same things. So the problem is to foresee in the future, to see if in the future things can be better than previous, and to understand how can we do it. I think you know this man very well, Niels Bohr, and he used to say, prediction is very difficult, especially if it is about the future. He said that, so we must believe it. Of course, the prediction of the past is much more easier, undoubtedly. But in any case, we are trying to predict the future. And to do it, okay, the science answer questions and discover information, but the engineer try to create product or process to solve problems and to predict how this product can behave in the future, okay? So we must foresee in the future in some way. And the first time that the term forecast was used was by this man, Robert Fitzroy, on 1859. Because of the sinking of the Royal Charter ship, you see, it was really a bad news for him or for others. So he tried to understand how to foresee in the future, in a way that he developed weather charts to avoid this kind of things. Okay, this was the first time that we know that the term was used. But after that, okay, I'm in electronic engineering. Of course, the simulation comes. The very first simulation was made on 1950 by means of an electromechanical relays-based computer. And it was used for simulating the sinusoidal steady state of a linear network. This was the really first trying to simulate something. And after that, for optimizing designs of electric filters. Okay. So since then, you know that many things happens. But the second occasion to have a simulation was in NASA. In NASA, during the years 1960, 1970, those years, NASA used to simulate, to mirror technology in space and on the Earth, to mimic what is going on the outside space, but on the Earth. And you see there are two spacecrafts. One of that was sent outside the Earth, and the other one remained on the Earth. And maybe you know this movie, Apollo 13. And something happened that there was a problem, as you probably know. And for some reason, on the spacecraft, they have to reduce the power consumption below 20 watts of electrical energy. But it was not easy to reach that task. So on the Earth, many simulations occurred before having a procedure to assure a power consumption less than 20 watts. So maybe you know this little part of the movie.
Okay, bring up the guidance.
Here we go.
This guy was on the Earth,
CMC antenna.
simulating
Pretty normal,
times,
fellas.
and so directing what were going on the spacecraft.
Yeah, Houston, we're taking a look at those numbers right now.
And you see that the instruments they used were not exactly the same, but they obtained the results. So after those years, 1960, 1970, on 2002, this professor, Michael Greaves, gave us a new concept. It was the product life cycle management. So this PLM is the acronym, is an integrated information-driven approach comprised of people, process, practices, technology, to all aspects of a product's life. So the idea was to have the entire picture to understand what was going on in what could be going on in the future. Okay, so he proposed this term, and after this term, so you see that the simulation, apart of the weather, the electronics, the space, went to the economics field and to the manufacturing field. And after that, 2 years later, again, Greaves gave this new concept that was the mirror space model, MSM. And according to his vision, what happens in the real space can be reproduced in a virtual space in a way that the information are gathered from the real space, I mean, no sensors or whatever. They go to the virtual space. Inside of the virtual space, we can simulate, reproduce, and see what can happen in the real counterpart. And he thought to subset of the virtual space. So the virtual space is split into several parts, and you can act for each of that part independently. After that, when you obtain your information, this flow of information go to the real space again. So we got a sort of feed forward and feedback condition. So these two elements can go together parallelly, and that are not organized by their function, but by their physical object. Okay, this was a new concept. After this, it came the information mirror model on 2006, 2010, and you see that the real and the virtual system connections are connected during 4 steps, main steps. So the step of development, of manufacturing, of operation, and of disposal, till the real end of the product. Okay, this was the vision, his vision. According to that vision, followed a new concept, that is the digital twin. Many of you are aware of this, the digital twin. The digital twin is really difficult to define. even the very expert gave different definitions of the same matter. For instance, NASA, from the technology area 11, proposed as a definition of digital twin. A digital twin is an integrated multi-physics, multi-scale, probabilistic simulation of an as-built vehicle or system that use the best available physical models, sensor updates, flight history, etc., to mirror the life of its corresponding flying twin. As you can understand by this definition, the keyword is simulation. And it appears logic to give this definition. But Greaves gave another definition. He considered a digital twin a set of virtual information constructions that fully describes a potential or actual physical manufacturer product from the microatomic level to the macro geometrical level. So it means now the keyword is describe. So one thing is to simulate, another thing is describe. And that's it, okay. We have a third definition from the AIAA Institute. A digital twin is a set of virtual information constructs that mimics the structure, context, and behavior of an individual unique asset, is dynamically updated with data from its physical twin throughout its life cycle, and information decision that realized value. So again, another definition, and this time the keyword is mimics. So it is difficult to have the real definition, and there is no a real definition up to now. So maybe you can propose a new one, and maybe could be the best one. And when we talk about details, okay, details, but down to what level of details? Atomic level, molecular level, entire structure level, which kind of level we have to consider? Digital twin is a so problematic definition to give that not only there are many definitions of digital twins, but also many phrases to define, to name the digital twin. In fact, there is the digital avatar, the digital shadow, the digital angel, the virtual entity, the cyber object. So not only no unique definition, but either not unique words to call it, okay? And not only, the digital twin is a really complex matter. So inside of the digital twin, we have the digital twin prototype, the digital twin instance, and so on. So the matter is really complicated to afford. But in any case, when I tell you all these things, you got on the bottom the reference. So if you are interested, you can go in better focus of that by means of these references, okay? Digital twin, if I try to see the trend of the research of these two words on Google, and you see that since 2016 till a few months ago, 4 months ago, the trend is more or less exponential. Not only the search is exponential, but the papers. I was impressed by how many papers named digital twin. You see here, in 2022, so last year, we got something like 25,000 papers. I mean, not only papers, conference paper or journal papers, but whatever. But 25,000, it is impressive. But the most impressive thing is that the most part of the research comes from China. Yes, China. You see, all over the world is considered this concept, but China is really mostly focused on that. And there is a reason we'll discover in a while. The advantages of digital twin are really many and relevant. For instance, the reduction of tests and checks, so a time and cost savings. The reduction of time to market. Many of us are not interested to the reduction of time to market, but if you talk with companies, they have mainly focus on that. Lower any product defects. Do you remember the Samsung Note 7? Okay, it was not made by a digital twin, okay? Intercept potential problems before happen, or simulate events, not causing them in reality. So we don't need to make something dangerous on the goods or on the people, but we can simulate that, of course. Evaluate edging effects, or evaluate all parameters at once, not one by one, and limit the production and as a final step only. The importance of digital twin is strategic when we think about the system behavior. The system can behave in a predictive way or in an unpredicted way, of course. But when we go to the first one, the predictive behavior, we can have a predicted desirable behavior or undesirable behavior, okay? That's makes sense. For the first, the predicted desirable behavior, it can think belonging to the class of the designed class, okay? The second one is related to unsolved problems. The unsolved problems can go to lawsuits, so it is better to avoid that class. And the digital twin can help us. Regarding the unpredicted behavior, again, we got unpredicted desirable or unpredicted undesirable. And this third class is relevant because it gives us the incompleteness index. So if we go through that class, it means that something, we forgot something, okay? If you go to the fourth class, there are dangerous problems then there. So in all this class, we have to stay as much as possible on the first one, of course. There is a review that considered the most relevant papers devoted to digital twin. And in this review, there are some key words that are physical asset, models, communications, services, data, products, autonomy, environment, and user. As you can see, user is not the key element at all. Key elements are physical asset, models, communication, services, but not always. And I was surprised of this data. During these days, today, yesterday, the day before, I always heard data, the word data, the meaning of data, the importance of data, the source of data, data. As you can see, data are not always the key element. It is surprising. How can it be that I have no necessity of data? Are the source element for me? Okay, but the point is that the digital twin can be active, passive, or something in the middle. And if we think at the active one, it means that we have got real and digital in sync, seamlessly, continuously updated. Virtual and real exist simultaneously. In this case, we need data, of course. But if we think at a passive version of the digital twin, some data are collected, others are assumed. It means that we don't need data always. Maybe sometimes we can assume some sort of data, the presence of some data, but they are not always the key element. Okay, so, and then we have something in the middle, semi-active. Okay, that is something. Okay. Apart of the digital twin, it comes also another definition of intelligent digital twin, IDT. The intelligent digital twin refers to the fact that digital twin meets artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning algorithms. So if you think to add to all the previous things that I mentioned, also the artificial intelligence, you talk about the intelligent version of the digital twin, of course. It seems that we concluded the vision, no? Because we got the augmented digital twin. And the augmented digital twin refers to digital twin with multiple interacts with this real entity, with its surroundings and others digital twins too. So it means that we got one digital twin that interacts with other digital twins, changing data, information, whatever. So they are in an environment. Moreover, the augmented version of digital twin enhances the data from the connected asset with the derivative data, with correlated data, with the featured source, and/or intelligence data from analysis and algorithms. So much more complicated now. And the ADT concerns visualizing the digital twin data by using augmented reality. So another concept that go on the first one, and the things are getting more and more complex. That's why later I will propose a new version of digital twin, because we have to take into account all these things. Fourth, ADT is also fed with data of other objects and resources and are shaped using AI techniques. So inside of the augmented version of the digital twin, there is the intelligent version of the digital twin. Okay? So digital twin is an ensemble of things all together, mixed together, create this concept of digital twin. Some examples. Maybe you are aware that at the beginning of the pandemic era, an hospital in China, I mentioned China earlier, an hospital in China was built in 14 days, not 40, 14 days.
We built a virtual twin of the hospital and used Simula X-Flow, a high-fidelity fluid simulation tool from Dassault Systems, to simulate the indoor airflow of the patient rooms and wards in Lei Shenshan Hospital to see how COVID-19 would spread. We also used X-Flow to simulate the impact of diffusion between patients and medical staff, the pollutant density, and the HVAC layout. We developed the optimal design based on these results and gave recommendations on how to control the indoor pollutants in the patient rooms and in hospital wards, and how to build a similar hospital later on.
Again, the sources are at the bottom of the slides, so you can have a check. Stadium in Barcelona. Who is aware of the fact that the stadium in Barcelona was built with a digital twin.
And Football Club Barcelona are developing a digital twin of the Camp Nou Stadium. A virtual version that will help identify patterns about how the fans interact with the stadium and all the areas around it, including the stores and the Football Club Barcelona Museum.
Okay, and what about an entire city? Also, entire city in China, again, are made after their virtual counterpart as a digital twin on computers. Okay? Or, this is very interesting, water sites. The water governance is made by means of digital twins, again. Regarding the interest, maybe it isn't important to know that also universities and editors are joined together in this field. And if you want, you can have access to a WeChat account. If you got a WeChat account, you can scan that QR code and can go through that to have information related to this, okay? I don't know if you know the Posters quadrant. The Posters quadrant has gotten the x-axis, the consideration for use of something, so no consideration or yes consideration, and on the y-axis, the quest for fundamental understanding. So it means that we have got three possibilities. One can be considered, again, as a basic research on the second quadrant. On the first quadrant, Pasteur's used inspired basic research, or fourth quadrant, Edison's applied research. In your opinion, the digital twin can be set in which of these three quadrants? The first, the second, the fourth? Edison? Other opinions? Pasteur? Think about it. It depends. It can be anywhere. It depends in which kind of digital twin you intend to create. So you can stay in whatever field. So it means that you can sell your idea of digital twin for basic research or to ask for money to some companies, okay? But, okay, interest of companies. Because, okay, we are researchers, so we are most interested in basic research, but without money, it's difficult to do anything. So, companies. The first day, 2 days ago, we had this panel session, the first one, and the question was the challenges on open and public-funded research versus big tech research initiative, right? Did you participate? Some of you maybe. Yes, we of course. And we gave some answers to this question. So, Siemens made this production plant by means of digital twin. Siemens is not exactly the smaller company in the world. So Siemens invested a lot of money about this matter. But not only Siemens, also Tesla. They are using data from all sensors placed in the car in order to build an accurate representation of their cars and predict what will happen if one performs a certain action. And they are thinking to give to the buyer the digital twin version of the car to have everything under control and to predict what could be if you miss to do something on your car, okay? and I think they will do it. I have a passion for Formula One, and you know that what is going on the track furnish data somewhere in the world to create the digital version of the car and to predict what happens if they stop for changing wheels or whatever, okay? So on track and elsewhere in the world. So it means that the digital twin is not necessarily together at the same place of the real counterpart. Boeing, 14 improvement rate achieved, 40% of increase for the quality, regarding quality part of its elements. And you see that the company plans to digitalize all of its engineering and developing systems, all, not one or two, all, okay? And we are talking about Boeing, not exactly a small company. In any case, as a matter of principle, any physical system, an object, a component, a mechanism, a network, an implant, a machinery, a structure, an asset, whatever, potentially of any level of complexity, whatever inanimate, vegetative, and animate, can be fully described by its features, its data, okay? And data can be, from a principal point of view, data can be electronically gathered, whatever the amount of whatever data, from any system during any period of time, okay? So as a matter of principle, we can think to gather all the data we need, to simulate whatever we need, and to obtain the results, whatever it is, as a matter of principle, okay? So it means that, as a matter of principle, we can act even on humans, providing a digital version of humans. So why not a virtual human simulator? Again, as a matter of principle, okay? Okay, a virtual human simulator can join together all the things that I mentioned, starting from digital twin, from IoT, Internet of Things matters, from artificial intelligence, from remote assistance, from net hospital, privacy, data security, Industry 4.0, okay? All together, mixed together, can realize the virtual human simulator, okay? So the virtual human simulator is something different of the digital twin. And I'm involved in a project started a couple of years ago from Technoscience. Technoscience is an ensemble of companies, little, medium companies, of hospitals, of research centers in Italy. And I'm involved in this with one of my spin-off called SEETI. It is a spin-off from my university. And together with us, there are the main partner are the Università San Raffaele, the University San Raffaele, the Research Center San Raffaele in Italy, the Neuromed, and the group Multimedica. And together with us, supporting us, there are Cisco and Vodafone. They are interested in this. So altogether, we are going towards the Industry 4.0, Okay? This is a short video that we made, try to let people understand what can we do with this kind of efforts towards the virtual human simulator. So there are different steps that are involved in this project. So they complete, it is in Italian, they complete the virtualization of the patient, a virtual clinic, starting from the real gathering of information. The source can be of any type. A second step is the level of model that we want to introduce, because we have to modeling something, of course. The third step is a prototype, a dynamic model as a feedback of what is going on in the model. And the fourth stage is the level of representation of the results. So, not an easy task. It is a dream, but the dream starts when you think that it can be realized. So we have to move the first steps, of course, but without moving the first steps, we can't arrive to the final goal. Okay? So, why the virtual human simulator? For many, many reasons, but the most relevant ones are ineffectiveness of drug, from 38 to 55 percentage. I'm not saying this, the US Food and Drug Administration says this. Of common disease patients do not respond to drug treatment. It's a huge problem, so it means that we have to realize a personalized medicine. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And the personalization can be made only with a digital twin of each patient. And some diagnosed patient will respond differently to the same treatment. So we cannot treat with the same manner to two people that have got the same level of disease, because the answer is different. There are so many boundary conditions that can change the reaction of the patient. So we have to take into account this. And the virtual human simulator allows trying out alterations to risk to try on the real counterpart. So we don't have to put the patient in a dangerous condition. Our VHS allows trying out adjustment too expensive to try on the real counterpart. There are some medical treatment that are really, really highly expensive, so we can't afford them. VHS allows tailored medical treatments, tailored for each patient. And VHS allow enhancement in the effectiveness of the drugs. Okay, these are key points for us. Okay. Okay. So by implementing digital technology, we can think to realize a complete. What does it mean, complete? We can discuss about this. Model of the patient, okay? And you know, the United Nations have in mind to reach these 17 goals. I think each of you are aware of this. Okay, by means of the virtual human simulator, we can reach the goal number 3, good health and well-being of each of us. The number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. And the number 12, responsible consumption and production. So these are the 3 of the 17 goals of the United States, and I think we can go in that direction by means of digital twins. There is a group that the European countries wanted. This group is named IDIH, International Collaboration Digital Transformation Health Aging. This group comes from the European, for a European project, but involves all the world. In particular, there are people from the United States, from China, from Canada, from Korea, from Japan. I'm the representative person of the AU, European Union, and I'm the coordinator of this group. This group decided that six are the key factors that must be addressed. And in one of the six key factors, the number 3, is modeling. It means digital twin. If you want later, we can discuss of the others, but now we are in another consideration. But if some of you want to know about that, we can discuss it. Okay, so the virtual human simulator allows a personalized medicine in terms of virtual organs, in terms of genomic medicine, of personalized health information, customized drug treatment, scanning the whole body, planning surgery. As another field, improve healthcare organization is improve caregiver experience, driving efficiency, shrinking critical treatment window, value-based healthcare, supply chain resilience, the capacity of resistance and recovery, faster hospital construction. We see the example in China with a video some minutes ago. In terms of drug and medical device development, we got service as a medical device, software as a medical device, software as a medical device. Classifying drug risks, simulating new product lines, improve device uptime, post-market surveillance, simulating human variability, digital twin of labs, even lab. A lab can have its virtual counterpart. So we can go regarding the level that we want to reach with the virtual human simulator. We can go from the cell to the shell, from the genome to the syndrome. Okay, the level is decided by ourselves. Examples are the cardio twin. Here are the reference of the work that I'm mentioning. And you see that for each patient there is a different virtual representation of his heart. Or for breast cancer, here there are some structures that are working jointly regarding this project. And you see that the interest is growing. Here in blue is the health and well-being interest. In orange is the other sector, and in green, all sectors. You see that there is a rapid trend that is evolving exponentially. The interest comes from many. HP, Siemens, Philips, even Elsevier is interested in this. And there is also not only the virtual human simulator, but the augmented version of the virtual human simulator, so that one simulator interacts with the other simulators. Okay, so we can create a network. Okay, digital twin is trendy, but what about resources? And I'm not only talking about money. The resources can be, there is Ditto. It is a middleware. It implements digital twin in the IoT. So if you are interested, you can refer to this Ditto. Or there is a project from Microsoft, the Azure project. The Azure Kinetic come from the Azure project.
We can now track and analyze data from connected environments to identify patterns, trends, and anomalies. We can now simulate any possibility, evaluate outcomes, determine the impact of any change or condition. We can now harness AI to perceive the physical world to improve and automate tasks.
And during these days, I often heard the word chat GPT from many of you. Chat GPT, chat GPT, chat GPT. Okay. Chat BioGPT. There is the BioGPT too. Okay, how far is the VHS? I'm talking about mixing all the things together, okay? Mixing all the things together, it means that we can have one aspect, another aspect, another aspect. One of the aspects is this.
Hello there. What I'm about to tell you will most likely blow your mind. Everything in this video, including myself, what I'm saying, my voice, and even the music, was created by AI in less than 10 minutes. That's right. This entire video was created using cutting-edge generative AI technology. This is just a taste of what artificial intelligence will be capable of in the future.
10 minutes.
안녕하세요. 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 안녕하세요.
This is not a real person.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 루이입니다. 저는 온라인에서 만났어요.
It is not a real person.
루이입니다.
Okay? Okay, mind the... What are the ceilings of all of this? There are limits, of course. What are the ceilings? The 10 scariest future tech trends, an article of Forbes, say that the singularity is the first scariest thing of the future. Then it is the editable humans. Then human-machine merging, 3D printing ability, or quantum computing. All these are inside the concept of the virtual human simulator. There are others, but are not exactly inside. So the ceilings are really many. The physical system can be natural or existing, can be artificial or human-made. The model can be unfitting or wrong, unnecessary, detailed. The math can have imitation, machine learning, or single parameters meaning, or lack of checksum. The error can be acceptable or convenient. The data can be sparse, missed, and so on. Computational can be too long, too expensive, and the ethical barriers. Of course, the ethical barriers. So, now I want to end this talk with a new concept that I want to introduce. It is my offer to you. That is the human Digi-Real Duality. Digi-Real Duality. I take a cue from the wave-particle duality. Now we are going towards that direction, according to my vision. And so what before was abstract and concrete were measured together. Now, according to me, they will be mixed together. And all of this, digital twin, Internet of Things, interaction, metaverse too, AI, BioGPT, robotics, all together will create the Digi-Real Duality. And the Digi-Real Duality will create something like this. This robot moves according to the real movement of a real person. And you see that the expressions are really unbelievable. Okay. And I don't know if you know this man, Neil Arbison.
I was born with a rare visual condition called achromatopsia, which is total color blindness. So I've never seen color, and I don't know what color looks like, because I come from a grayscale world. To me, the sky is always gray, flowers are always gray, and television is still in black and white. But since the age of 21, instead of seeing color, I can hear color. In 2003, I started a project with computer scientist Adam Montandon, and the result, with further collaborations with Peter Queche from Slovenia and Matías Lizana from Barcelona, is this electronic eye. It's a color sensor that detects the color frequency in front of me and sends this frequency to a chip installed at the back of my head, and I hear the color in front of me through the bone, through bone conduction. So for example, if I have like, this is the sound of purple. For example, this is the sound of grass. This is red, like that. This is the sound of a dirty sock, which is like yellow.
Okay, that's why I mean Digi-Real Duality. And with the Digi-Real Duality, you can do whatever you want, mixing things, real things and virtual things. And
Augmented reality are rapidly changing the ways in which we experience and interact with our physical world.
okay, this is the,
From factory floors to
augmented
customer
reality
sites in the
that
field.
all of you knows. This is interesting.
Now we're stuck on this stupid tower in the middle of nowhere. And I don't blame you, and now we're stuck on this stupid freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere. And it's all my fault.
What is real? What is not real?
Y es todo por mi culpa.
Okay, I skip this. Because time is. I finish with the key enabling technologies. Which kind of technologies can give us the opportunity to realize the Digi-Real mixing? Sensors, of course. Plux is mainly involved in this, but also one of my spin-off called Captics. But the sensors can be wearable or can be on the skin, can be implanted, can be. This is an application that we realized during the COVID pandemic to understand if a person had the COVID or not by means of a voice, analyzing the voice.
In circa un minuto dovrebbe presentarsi il risultato.
So A is
è verde e quindi dovremmo essere al sicuro.
The analyzed voice, and the answer is okay, no COVID for him. There is also another spin-off that is capable to understand what is going on inside of a room without adding electromagnetic pollution, but using the electromagnetic pollution that we have inside, and with the receiver, understand the wave that the pattern can change according to the movement of people, and so on, to understand how many people are inside of a room, or if one falls, and so on. This is one of my patents, and it is for visualizing differently what you want to see. In particular, this is something projected on a screen that doesn't exist. You see that that image can be passed through. I can go through the image. Okay. It is a sort of hologram, but it is not an hologram. Regarding the math and the model, these three persons say that we can do something for disorder systems, and a virtual human simulator is a disorder system. And the other Nobel Prize persons say that we can realize the quantum computing, and the quantum computing allows to treat a lot amount of data. And the quantum computing is related to analog, not on digital. That is interesting for me because I love analog electronics more than digital. This computing is the DARPA, quantum computing. So, arriving to the conclusions. My conclusions are: 1. The Digi-Real Duality is the pioneer of precision health paradigm, according to me. The second is that for DRD development, it is mandatory a partnership among medicine, biology, engineering, computer science, and so on. We can do only from one point of view, but there must be mixed of all the capability of people. And third, to monitor, analyze, simulate, visualize, manage the DRD to make it descriptive, integrative, and predictive. And all in all, finally, we can reach and maybe when we simulate this, we can obtain that. Thank you.